It is January 2nd, and I'm starting out the new year strong. Super productive. I did, in fact, watch 5 episodes of the Great British Baking Show this morning. I'm having a great time. Yesterday, I posted my December wrap-up, and I kind of made an announcement. Not really, just like, I'm not doing wrap-ups anymore. At least for a few months. I'm going to test out some stuff and just see, like, what other ways can I talk about the books that I'm reading and not just the same repetitive sit-down wrap-up videos. Even though that I love them, I'm just trying something new in 2025, and who knows if it will stick, but I'm going to try it. A new goal for me in 2025 was to start writing my Goodreads reviews again. I wrote Goodreads reviews for a good 2 years and then just quit, but I want to get back into it, at least on Goodreads. I thought, why not? Every single book that I finished in January, why don't I talk about it? Why don't I tell you my book review and then I'll kind of type it out with you guys. Normal People I finished last night, so I did write the Goodreads review in bed when I finished the book. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars, and I thought it was a very interesting take on a relationship. It is, and I said this in my Goodreads review, it's like a tug of war just between the two. They're never on the same page, which can be realistic for some relationships and some people. I can understand the appeal of this book. It was frustrating though. Obviously, when two characters are not on the same page, but you as a reader are viewing and understanding their inner thoughts, they kind of are on the same page. They just don't communicate and they aren't verbally telling each other what they're feeling. Like you can tell their inner thoughts would align if they would just talk. Marianne was a very deep character. She was reluctant to peel back those layers. Like we didn't get to see a lot of her, but we did learn kind of bits here and there. It was like a treasure hunt, trying to figure out pieces about her and kind of put them together, where Connell was very straightforward with his thoughts, and I thought that he was very honest. But as a reader, I could not understand his motives or actions. I was very confused, but I wanted to understand him. So I guess as characters, individually, I liked them, but together I was like, you guys might have good sex, but I don't know if you guys are ready for each other. And the conclusion of the book was a little frustrating, but because of the whole book that you just read, you kind of understand where it's going in the future. Who knows if in the future of that fiction book they would ever be together, but I hope so. That is my thought on Normal People by Sally Rooney. Hello, it is January 5th. I have finished 2 books since we've talked last. One of them was completely not on my radar at all for this month, and I randomly picked it up last night, but I already wrote the Goodreads reviews, and I know I said I was going to be writing them with you. That's my fault. I feel like I write the reviews very quick when I should probably let the book digest and then write the review. So the next few books that I finish this month, I will be patient and write the review sitting down with you guys. Yesterday on January 4th, I finished The Blackbird Oracle by Deborah Harkness. This is the All Souls book number 5, and I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. You guys know I love Discovery of Witches, the main trilogy, and the TV show because I've been watching that as well. It's such a wonderful, beautifully written series. I do feel that The Blackbird Oracle was a money grab. Like, it didn't feel needed at all, and I was actually quite disappointed because I thought the book was going to be about, slight spoiler warning, not really, but like the slightest, Diana in the original trilogy had twins, and I thought this book would be about the twins and them finding their magic, but the twins are only like 13 years old and they're really not in this at all. It's more about Diana going to her father's side of, like, figuring out more on her father's side of history or heritage, where like we didn't get her father much at all in the original trilogy because it's a very like secretive side of her family. Diana's story was wrapped up very, very well in the main trilogy. So then to come back to her story, I wasn't that interested. Like, I love her as a character, but I wasn't interested in learning anything more. I thought that we would get the twins maybe in their like 20s, you know, trying to figure out their own magic because they are such a unique breed of witch. It's like witch and vampire. So like, I forgot what they're called, bright soul, bright somethings. Like, they're not typical witches. So I'm like, okay, that would have been really cool. And I thought it was quite boring. I'm not gonna lie, and that's upsetting to say because I love the series. It's the series that got me back into reading in 2019, so it's a bummer. Then the third book of the year, I also finished yesterday because I read it in about an hour. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Osman? I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It's cute, but with graphic novels, I'm not really sure how to rate them, so I just rate them like a 3. I think every graphic novel that I've read, I've rated a 3, and it's cute. I think my Goodreads review, hold on, I said, cute, ... I want the next one, because I do. I would love to read the next book. I thought this one was super cute, and to finish a book in less than an hour just because it's basically all pictures was kind of nice, you know? If I'm struggling to hit my Goodreads goal at the end of the year, I know what series I'm gonna pick up. I'm currently taking my lunch break for work, but last night I finished Cinder by Marissa Mayer, and I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I haven't written my review yet, and I'll kind of go through why I rated it 3.5 stars. It's also snowing. That's why this is so bright, and yeah. Anyway, the lighting's weird. I started that book 2 days ago when I did this vlog right here, my little New Year reset vlog. I was thoroughly surprised at how much I enjoyed that book. Very easy to read, super, super predictable, and had that young adult feel. So in my review, I think what I usually do is I kind of just state my thoughts. Like, I'm not giving a book review. It's not like a fleshed out, like, here are the themes, here are the motifs, here are the like repeating factors. Like, I'm not talking about actual literary things. I'm gonna type up my thoughts, and then I will show you guys my final Goodreads review. I forgot what. Cyborg, okay, I finished. That took about 5 minutes. 3.5 stars. Really enjoyed this book. Easy to read with a fast-paced story. That said, it's definitely the epitome of a YA novel. Extremely predictable and full of familiar tropes, but honestly that's part of what makes it so fun and fitting for the genre. And then I go in to talk about Cinder and her character and how I really liked her, and she reminded me of Kiva and so on. But I did like the nods to Cinderella. It's definitely considered a retelling, so the fact that Cinder has a robotic leg and she loses it at the ball instead of a shoe like Cinderella did. I love that in books, and I thought that was really cute. And I already downloaded and listening to book 2, which is Scarlet. So I hope to finish this in the next day or so, and I'll update when I do. I finished 4 books so far and broke my nail. Not flipping you off, but since the last time we've talked, I've gotten my wisdom teeth out. I finished 2 books since the last time I updated, and I thought I would really quick write the Goodreads review with you here on my phone. Immediately after Cinder, I picked up Scarlet, book 2 in the Lunar Chronicles series, which I rated 3 out of 5 stars. Still really, really fun, young adult, very predictable, but like a really good read. Like, I had a great time listening to it. So I'm going to write a review very, very, very short. I liked Scarlet, but I think the mix of the POVs in this one confused me a little bit because I was listening to it. The characters sounded super, super similar. So like, if I had Cinder's POV and then immediately had Scarlet's, like if it was just back and forth, I would have to like rewind and like listen to whose POV I was in because they sounded really similar. So I think that was just an audiobook thing. Okay, I'm basically just saying such a fun one and interested to see where book 3 takes these characters. Really enjoyed the different POVs, even though the audiobook made it tough to follow sometimes, which is such basic thoughts right there, but I don't feel like expanding because a lot did happen in this book too. And I feel like when you're reviewing or when you're talking about like book 2, book 3, and book 4s and series, it's hard to get like deeper with the reviews. Like, it's really hard to talk about the book without 1, spoiling anything, and 2, like, so much has happened just from book 1, so then to add on everything that happened in book 2, it's hard to write about. So I'm gonna keep that really, really short. I finished The Grace Year last night. I'm not gonna put a rating on Goodreads just yet because I am filming a vlog and I want the vlog to kind of be like a surprise. So I am rating this book 4 out of 5 stars, but Goodreads will not know that until later, like in February when I update it. But I'm gonna try to write this review. My thoughts still aren't like fully together on this book because I just finished it last night. I might have to think on this one. Okay, I ended up writing it, so here goes. truly has it all: horror, romance, survival, and dystopian elements. Garner County is deeply unsettling, with a dark, cult-like society that raises countless questions. Where did these people come from? How did this oppressive system begin? What lies beyond the boundaries of the county? The story is gory, with a sinister focus on how women are pitted against each other as natural enemies, generational trauma taken to the extreme, very thought-provoking, and a deeply chilling read. My only irk is that I love answers to all the questions that I had. My only irk is that I love answers, and this didn't provide answers to all the questions that I had due to the purposeful lack of world building. So there was a very big, again, 4 stars, loved this book, but there was a lack of world building, which I think the author meant to do. I don't think she wanted you to know all of the details, and I don't like that in books. Like, I want it spelled out for me why the world is the way it is, and this one just didn't do that, but that's okay. 4 stars. And now I'm gonna read, but my face kind of hurts, so I'm just gonna hang out. So I had my surgery 2 days ago, and yesterday I just laid down and like did not do a single thing, and I finished that book, and I'm gonna do the same thing today. So I have finished 2 books in the past few days, and I have not updated this video. Let me just tell you what they are and what I rated them, and then I'll come back with the review, or I'll put the review on the screen. I don't have my thoughts together enough to write a review right now. Like, I know what I rated them, but I can't write a review right now. And I know that's the whole point of this video, but I'm not going to. The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then June 1st by Jennifer Hartman, I rated 4 out of 5 stars. Go follow me on Goodreads. I mean, at this point, just like, my Goodreads is tagged below. Go follow me on there. I'll accept you to be my friend, and then you can see what I reviewed these books, because yeah, I'm not in the mood to write a review right now. I just finished my reread of Iron Flame. I gave it 5 stars the first time I read it, and I think it's because I physically read it the first time around and I really enjoyed that experience. But this time around I listened to it, and I'm giving it 4 stars. Because the narrator was so whiny and cringy and not how I envisioned Violet at all, it did make me enjoy the plot a little bit less, which I was not expecting. But for a reread, I'm okay with it. Tonight is the Onyx Storm book release, so I'm meeting my friend Alex and a few other people there, and it'll be probably really busy, but I'm going to try and film as much as possible and hopefully have a vlog up of the midnight release, which will be a lot of fun. So it was a good read. I'm glad that I reread it, and now it's fresh in my mind because tonight I have the physical copy of Onyx Storm, and I'm very excited. Okay, oh my god, it's been quite a few days since I last updated. So I finished The Courting of Bristol Keats, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. And since then, again, I finished June 1st, rated that 4 out of 5 stars. I finished my reread of Iron Flame. Then I finished Onyx Storm, 5 stars. And then I finished The Wedding People by Alison Espach, which was my Patreon book club pick of the month. And we are gonna write all of those reviews right now. Okay, so I'm gonna sit, write them up, and then I will tell them to you, kind of like word vomit, what I'm thinking, what my review was, and why I rated it what I did. I wrote reviews for most of them. So The Courting of Bristol Keats, again, I rated 2.5 out of 5 stars. I'll just read it out because I don't have much else to say on this book. Romantasy is starting to feel very formulaic. Bristol being abruptly thrust into the Fae world with no context and then just accepting it without question felt unconvincing. Add to that a rushed ending designed solely to serve the romance and plot twist. It just didn't work for me. I really hope this genre evolves into something bigger and better. Us fantasy romance lovers deserve unique stories, not copy and paste every other romantasy out there. And that is truly how I felt, because I was so disappointed with how beautiful the edition that I received from a subscriber was. But I feel like I have read 20 plus romantasy books that have copy and paste the same timing of plot twist at the end, same timing of when they meet the main character, how they meet the main character, why do they enter a fae world or a new world? It doesn't even have to be fae. Why do they enter a new world and then ask 0 questions? They're just like, yeah, I guess it was there the whole time. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't like the way Romantasy has been going, and I hope that it gets better from here. June 1st by Jennifer Hartman, I rated 4 out of 5 stars. How can a book be both heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time? It makes you question everything and truly pause to reflect, what if this were my life? That is honestly how I felt the whole time. How would I react if this was my life, if that was my adopted brother? And Brant, the angel, is one of the most lovable main male characters I've ever read. He's sweet, gentle, considerate, and loyal, and I also really did love the change that we had a male perspective, or a main male character in a romance rather than a female. I thought that was a nice touch. Even though that June was a main character, it was really Brant's story and him figuring out his life after multiple traumas. Loved that book, would highly recommend. Again, it will make you think. It's a little controversial, like the tiniest bit controversial, and sad. So just forewarning, look up trigger warnings if you need to. Then I read Onyx Storm, and I don't think this one is for the hype. Like, I didn't give it 5 stars for the hype. I genuinely, if I had to rank Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm would be first. Loved this book way more than any of the 3. I thought, actually, let me read my review. There are so many amazing things I could say, but I'll keep it short. If you truly love this series, you know how crucial the little Easter eggs and hints are. The story has been meticulously crafted brick by brick since book 1. It's incredible to watch it all come together. Touching points that I made of like the emojis. I thought the world building, the politics, the history, the lore, everything that Rebecca Yarros did it's there for a reason, and you'll notice it throughout the whole book. I really don't think plot holes exist in her books. In book 4 and 5, I expect those to grow so much more because we learned a lot in Onyx Storm, but we also have so many new questions. And all of those things were wonderful. I thought the side character development in this one, Riddick, Mira, Brennan, Garrick, Bodhi, like every single side character had growth. They found out new signets. They like so many different things going on. And then obviously the romance, because that was great. And I thought the spice or the smut or whatever was spaced out very, very well. Maybe, how many did we get? Like 3 to 4 scenes? But not all at the end and not all at the beginning like it should be. This is book 3 out of 5, and it should be kind of placed throughout. And obviously, due to certain reasons, there was less spice in this book. It is January 30th, and I thought I would make my last January reviews update because since the last time we've talked, I rated The Wedding People 3 out of 5 stars. I can see why people love this book, but personally it wasn't for me. I thought there were some really witty, funny parts, but honestly, most of the humor did not click with me, and I was not a fan of some of the humor shown. It was a bit bland, or just came off a little bland in my opinion. And my main irk was the way this book portrayed depression. Phoebe, our main character, is depressed for the first 20% of the book, and she specifically goes to a hotel. This isn't a spoiler. She goes to a hotel to kill herself. And at the day after her attempt, she's cured because she's kind of like seen the light and she like isn't depressed anymore. I didn't like the way depression was portrayed. And I think it could have explored Phoebe's struggles a little bit deeper because really the whole book just focuses on the people at this wedding. Now for Belladonna, I have not written my review yet, so I'm going to gather my thoughts, type something up really quick, and then I'll come back and tell you guys. But I did rate Belladonna 4 out of 5 stars. I did like a silly little short one. I do think my reviews could get more in depth. I think that's something that I'm going to try and practice on, but not today. And I said, I am the opposite of a gothic girly, but wow, do I want death to come and swoop me off my feet, which is so true because in this book, death has some riz as the young ones would say. He was so charming and so head over heels for Signa because she was the first like human that he could touch and like talk to and be real with, and love that for him. This book had everything I want in a young adult gothic paranormal love story. Eerie estate, murder mystery, a smart and intuitive female main character, and a really sexy male voice because I listened to the audiobook. A female narrator, but her voice, her male voice, was incredible. Kristen Atherton, her male voice was so deep and sexy. It was incredible. But that is it for this video. Wow, I read 12 books. I feel like finding one 5-star is great, and I had a few 4 stars. I did have 2.5 stars, which kind of sucked, but that's fine. Out of 12, I can take 2 bad ones. Obviously, this whole video was done on Goodreads, so if you want to follow my Goodreads and see what I'm currently reading, what I'm rating it, I update my Goodreads every time I read like 20 pages. Like, I'll update just the littlest amount so I can see that progress bar. So if you want, you can go follow me on Goodreads. It's linked down below. I'm gonna try to write a review for every single book that I read this year. That's kind of my big overarching goal for 2025, and I thought this video would be a good alternative to my wrap-ups. Since I'm not posting my wrap-ups here on YouTube anymore, I am posting my wrap-ups on my Patreon, so you can go watch it there. Stuff like this, you know, I might do recently read videos or write reviews with me for a month. I'm just gonna kind of trickle in new ideas for my wrap-ups, so I'll see you in the next video.